Hey everyone, sorry if I sound a little bit off today. I got my first bit of hate mail. Um, if you were looking at my what's it called, community posts here on YouTube, or like checking my Instagram, you'll see that I received a message from the supposed owner of the Devil Witch RPG written by your true love. Um, and they want this back. And they called me a which I think is pretty funny. Imagine calling a fellow adult a and called me a what were some of the things he called me? He called me a and that I should just classic stuff, just the classics. And it's not my first time hearing that kind of stuff in my life. But all due respect, sir, I don't believe you are the owner of the Devil Witch RPG written by your true love. Okay? I don't think so. I found this in a box labeled free on the side of the road. Okay? You did not put this notebook that was probably written by your kid, if you are in fact the quote unquote owner of the Devil Witch RPG, you did not write this, okay? You say you're the owner of it, and I believe that if anybody wrote it, it was your kid, okay? And I haven't gone very far in this notebook, okay? But I do not negotiate with people that resort to calling me names and decide to threaten me on Pride Month. Okay? So I'm going to keep making videos, and I don't think you are the owner of this, but if you are, I own this. Okay? And I'm going to do whatever I want with it. All right? Please get a life if you are the owner or not. Okay, I'm going to make this vlog and we're going to see if that puts me in a better headspace. It still freaks me out because I just made a video talking about how I feel really weird about putting this stuff on the internet, and this is confirming my theory that maybe this is a mistake, doing what I'm doing now. But okay. All right, I did go to a garage sale today, and I did get something pretty cool. So this is Soul Cemetery. Please leave in the comments if you played this before. I remember playing this when I was pretty young, and I remember being at my cousin's house, and I remember playing it on either the PlayStation or GameCube. I can't quite remember. And it's a survival horror game. Wait, hold on. Let me see if it... Does it say? Does it say if it was for the GameCube or PlayStation? No, I don't think so. Anyway, I remember playing this when I was younger, and I remember being freaked out by it. There's a lot of like dream sequences and weird mechanics in it. Like you can just like whistle. There's like a whistle button, and I remember that being really freaky. I remember some of the like songs that would be sung in the game being like something that I would hum in my real life, and I remember like, whoa, it's like reading my mind or whatever. Anyway, it was really freaky when I was a kid, and I don't remember a lot of it, but there was this great video essay by KatelynGames, I believe, and she talks about how she encountered some weird stuff in this game, and like I don't remember those things. Like I don't remember the dream sequence where she becomes a kid. I don't remember that. I just remember like there's a dream sequence where you like are in the house alone and there's somebody at the window, and that I remember that really freaking me out. But yeah, I don't own a game system that could run this, like even if it's for the GameCube or PlayStation. I don't own those anymore. So, but I do like the manual. I think it looks cool, and I have the CD in here. So I think it's just gonna lurk. It's just gonna look at me, stare at me while I'm doing other stuff. So yeah, that's really exciting. Oh, and I'll leave a link to her video on this game in the description. So yeah, please check that out. Okay, all right, let's dive in. Let's do this. So we read the foreword last time, and so I want to at least get through the introduction, and I would like to get through an RPG, and if we have time, as long as it's not too long, because again, these things take forever to upload. I was thinking about doing character creation, but we'll see. I'm really excited about character creation, so I might want to make that its own separate video. But yeah, let's go for it. So I've read the foreword, and I'm gonna try to like narrate it. Like, if you're doing other stuff, I really appreciate you just listening to this in the background. So I'm gonna try to like put this in a voice, so it's not just me monotone like it was in the last vlog. So let's dive in. Introduction. I don't know anything about witches, or the Bible, or even how to write an RPG. I was just a gay kid, fresh out of high school, when you decided to ruin my life. I thought it was bad enough growing up in the 80s as a proud faggot. To make matters worse, I was a cool faggot in high school. The one that beat up dipshits who tried to make fun of my homosexual signifiers in Dungeons & Dragons modules. At least I'd attempt to fight back. I wasn't very good, but you already knew that, didn't you? I escaped with a 2.1 GPA and somehow managed to gather the courage to go back to school. People were scared of me in high school, which, to this day, I smile at. Me? How could they be scared of someone who they beat the shit out of every day? But you were. And you still were when we both landed in our media lit class. And you got really scared when I saw you again in my religious studies class. You hated me, didn't you? But now, you couldn't slam me in a locker and tell me to repent. Which is why you gave me jealous stares when I flirted with other men. Why'd you bite your lip when I'd arrive to class in track shorts on hot summer days? It's why you would chuckle when I talked to my bathroom rendezvous participants about my hijinks. You sure did hate me. But I guess that's fair. I ended up with a D in that religious studies class and spent the majority of that class talking about how bullshit I think religion is. It wasn't very nice. I regret that. As for witches, you sure did think I was one. So I guess that makes me a witch. This is how you play one. I don't think this was written by the person who wound up like with it. I think that this was a gift, a really freaky gift, but I think that this was given to someone. I think that it just feels like this is something that you would send to someone you hate, or it's an inside joke. But yeah, that's my working theory. Okay. An RPG. What is tabletop role-playing? A tabletop role-playing game is a series of rules that encourage players to pretend to be someone they are not. Pretend. So if I say that I'm a witch who worships demons in my TTRPG, I don't actually worship those demons. Seth. Sorry, is there a Seth? Was there ever a Seth? No? Okay. All right. I was just checking. I just wanted to make sure that we hadn't seen Seth before. Okay, cool. Seth, but that distinction was probably lost on you since you failed that media lit class. In TTRPGs, you have a character you pretend to be, and you make that character do stuff by rolling dice. If you are afraid of dice because they remind you of gambling, I suggest you buy numbered cubes. You have a very sensitive soul. Wow, okay. You also have a paper with details about the character called a character sheet. Yeah. Think of this as a government record. There'll be examples of this later in this guide. Oh, and it's like crossed out here, so it's like mod, so probably module, then it was book, then it was guide. Yeah, I I want to know what I want to know what character creation looks like. So, and this kind of confirms it. I think that Seth may have been the giftee of this. Again, we don't know if this is still in like a what would it be like? I think I mentioned in the previous vlog that it could be like a framing device. You know, like this is an RPG written in character. So yeah, but we don't know that for sure. So Seth could be like a recurring character, or it could be like us. It's who it's addressed to. And so maybe Seth is like a character in this setting or whatever. Okay. So I want to get to character creation. I want to see what this is like. So character creation. Become a witch. I think designers put this part here because it's exciting to imagine yourself as a new person. It's fun to see a different life open to you. But I also think it's important for a DM to know who they are designing for. I guess I didn't tell you what a DM was. Look, I'm making this up as I go along. Cut me some slack. So you gotta make a character, and on the next page is an example. Okay. Well, we gotta see the example, right? Okay. Example sheet. Address. So it has address. Okay, so this is the character sheet. You have an example sheet. You have the address, name, coven, like witch's coven, gender, social security. Wait, so you put down your social security number? Okay, and backstory. There is not a section for stats here. It just looks like it's just background. Okay. So the address is 21956 Moonfall Place. Veronica Praxis is the coven name. Name is Veronica. Gender, a man turned into a woman by her demon. Okay. Looking good, queen. Social security is 666. Sure. It's probably just a joke. Then backstory. I grew up in a house that knew nothing of witchcraft. But after she tried on her mom's dress and listened to an album of death and metal, her name became Veronica. It would take years to realize this change. Every night she would hear the call of her demon. He would tell her to embrace this unholy lifestyle. By the time she arrived at college, she was ready to join a coven and brush away her former life. She joined a coven called Praxis, a group of witches who were also branded as men at birth. But her witch career would be tainted when an insecure witch hunter belonging to the Thorn Bush family would kidnap and torture her until she renounced her witchhood. It worked. For years she lived with fear, terrified of becoming herself. But now she's going to get her revenge on you. sorry. I think I'm going to call it there. Okay. Thank you all for watching. Yeah, I'll be posting something soon. So yeah, have a good night, everyone. Be safe.